What's up guys, and welcome back to Tech Plan. Today will be the first day in our kind of how to grow food indoors grow diary using a nice grow light. So let's check it out. For this experiment, I'm going to be using kind of like a micro tomato species. We're going to be raising gnat, which is sesame leaves, a small melon that's kind of like a cucumber and a cantaloupe, some Korean radishes that are absolutely delicious, and finally some Napa cabbage. I'm going to get these all started in some really small, like 2-inch pots. And as far as the soil that I'm going to be using, it really is the same soil I use with everything. It's just become kind of a hodgepodge mix. It's mostly just a generic, like, I guess, dirt with a lot of perlite and then some more like woody bark type stuff to kind of give it some aeration. And this is done pretty well indoors for me. I don't have too many issues with overwatering with this stuff, and it just does kind of seem to do a good job. I really love fresh tomatoes, so I'm going to try and grow 4 of these like micro tomato bushes, and hopefully that gives me a good yield, because again, this is a very tiny variety and it should only get about 1 foot to 1.5 foot tall. I am putting more than 1 seed in each pot because these seeds are about a year old, so I just want to make sure we at least get 1 germinated per pot. I usually do this with new pots or new seeds as well, just because it helps in case you fail to get germination. Next up is our gnat, which is the Korean name, and I guess sesame leaves. I don't know what you really call them in English, but these are super tasty and they become like rather large bushes. So it'll be a good test of this light because they're going to get quite tall and we're going to need a lot of penetration to get down to the lower leaves. But these are excellent for cooking with. Again, just because these are slightly older seeds, I did use some of these this summer and they worked out fine. But I'm going to plant more than 1 per pot, and you can always separate these later or kill the weaker ones. On top of that, I'm going to make sure to kind of wet every pot down. I'm going to spray a little water on top just to make sure the soil is nice and wet for the seeds to kind of germinate. For the melons, I'm only going to grow 2 of these plants, only because I know vines are kind of hard to take care of in the sense that they try and spread and climb everywhere. So I figure with just 2 of them, I should be able to manage well, and hopefully we can get a few melons from it. I'm only going to try and grow 2 of these really large radishes just because they're massive size. I'm assuming they're going to need some pretty big pots to kind of house them because they do grow kind of underground, so the bulk of it is like inside the pot. And then lastly, I'm just going to try and grow 3 of these Napa cabbages and we'll see how that goes. I've never grown these before, so hopefully they grow pretty well, but they do look like they're going to take quite some time to grow, so I'm only going to have 3 of them because they'll take up quite a bit of space, I think, as they get mature. I don't really have a good seed tray for these, so I'm just going to reuse kind of a plastic tote that I have, and I did put these water bottles in here just to take up some space so they don't fall over so easily. These pots do kind of get narrow towards the base, so they kind of tip over, so just recycling these bottles that I've had sitting around will do well to kind of keep them from falling. This grow test / like diary experiment is going to be using the Viparspectra XS1500. This is about a 150 watt light. I did a review about it earlier, but I do like the dimming function on this thing, so we're going to actually give one of these nicer, newer lights a full-on test from seed to finish, and we'll just see how it does. They did send me a grow tent, but I don't have the space to set it up just yet, and I don't think I need it just yet because we are just doing seeds. So I do have it hanging in my room, and for now this should be just fine. Like I mentioned in the unboxing / review of this light, the nice thing about it is you can use the dimming function. And that means while we're just starting seeds, we can put this at 25% capacity and just lower the light really close to the seedling tray, and that way we're not just wasting energy. And I really love dimmer features for lights like this because you don't have to waste so much electricity during the starting of your plants. Well guys, that pretty much sums up the first day of this grow diary. Again, I did want to actually take a light and try and grow stuff from start to finish just to see how well these things actually work, because I have unboxed and reviewed a lot of lights in the past, so we're actually going to give this Viparspectra light a chance and just see what it can do. I hope you guys are going to enjoy this series and kind of keep up to date with it. I'm going to try and make sure they're a lot more entertaining than this very first one because we'll actually have some progress in the future ones. As always guys, may your plants grow strong and healthy. I'll see you next time.